well over the 2 hour mark, 2.5 hours, I believe, if they started at 3. So yeah, this is I didn't expect this. I thought that would be it, but yeah, we see that Bill's, he made the big comeback the first time. Will he make the big comeback the second time? Yet to we'll be here to find out. We see a big
Straight on
overbet
board.
on the 1 card straight. This
No,
is
the
definitely
board has a straight, bro.
yeah, or sorry, on the straight board rather. This is definitely a thing by Bill, for sure.
And then what is if you have a king here, you just clicking it, or you have to jam, or what? What's
I would be peer shoving, and the reason for that is being Bill can't have ace king, so you want to put a lot of pressure on chops, right? So if Bill has king X, of course he's going to have to call, but it's because Landon would always be betting ace king on the turn. Anyway, so we see a bet on the right hand side. Bill takes it down. Yes, guys. By the way, I'm not sure where they're going to end, but we are going to do another 55 giveaway at some point. So the people typing in yacht standard time, that is the keyword for the giveaway. So please type that back in because our Nightbot probably.
But only do it like once or twice, guys, because after that you should be disqualified. Because then it's just annoying.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you type it in; it's only going to qualify for once.
Actually, matter of
big
fact,
pot
the more you
here,
type it, the increase your chances.
12K win for Mr. Perkins with the ace 8.
I'm doing a giveaway. If you type in, Rob, wait, I want to think of my words. There's something to get under your skin, Rob.
Don't.
Type Team Berkey in the chat.
Boy.
So what I'm alluding to is that Robert got himself in a bit of he hit the bottle and got himself in a bit of trouble.
Me? Me? Sober's bird.
But no, Rob was fully sober and just talked his way into a beef somehow, and a whole toxic.
First of all, we've had a beef for a long time. This is not like a new spurred thing.
Yes.
We talked about playing heads up before.
Yes.
And I poked the bear a little bit. The bear woke up from hibernation and accepted. So
Bill with the Broadway there. And so Rob, though, the real summary though is that as Bill wins that little spicy Broadway board, and now we have a paired wheelie, missed, turned flush draw cock stuff.
Shouldn't really see too much action here.
No, all right, so not too much action, except.
Landon
disagrees. Landon disagrees.
No, I mean he can easily have 4x, but it's gonna be hard for it to get that call.
Yeah, you just predict it wrong sometimes, Rob. It's okay. So Rob decided to get all spicy with his friends. Like, remember Mike Vanderjack, I think was the kicker's name on the Colts, who got drunk and went on TV in Canada, and then Peyton Manning put him in his place.
I was not drunk.
I know you weren't.
I was totally sober.
In spirit. Well, in spirit, though, you were totally sober. Listen, in spirit, you were drunk. Drunk with power. Drunk with the challenge. Drunk with hate for the Burkinator. Right? Drunk with I've had enough and I want to get some action.
Drunk with passion for
so
Heads
Rob
Up, the beautiful game of Heads Up.
Blasted off. Got some interest from Berkey, you could call it. Some insults from Berkey. Got under his skin. Working out stakes, right? And now hopefully it happens. You're in the lab, right? And now you realize, you come to and realize what you've got yourself in. He's been asking everyone he knows for a loan. No. Rob is gonna win, dude. I'm with Bobby.
Yeah, I'm gonna financially bury him. So it is what it is.
I love you.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, good luck. But that's just how it's gonna go. This is how this works. I'm sorry, but this is how it works.
All right, so Bill with the the quarter size bet on the right side, and then the 5x raise ish from the Landinator. You calling a jack any jack here? Is it the worst?
Calls with spicy little raise by Landon there with the king.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What's he getting? Let's see. That's for value?
Yeah,
That's why I'm asking. What's bottom of calling range if you're Bill?
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean you're just getting a king to you're putting king in an awkward spot, but I think Bill's going to be balanced enough to have queen X, as we saw earlier him have that flush. So I'm not so I'm not so sure how much I like raise versus flat, as we've seen Bill be bouncing these spots before. So I don't know.
You don't like raise with your range or with exactly Landon's hand?
We have to have some raises with range,
Well, so
right?
that's a
But
very stupid.
but
I
with
phrased that
particular
horribly.
hand, I don't think I like it, but I don't know.
Well, I guess the question becomes if Perk has to call with jacks, they're like as bad as any jacks.
Right, that's
Then
the
it
thing.
seems good to then it's clearly a win for Landon to be raising, right?
For sure, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
But we don't
if
know.
if he calls that, but I think that's too
Yeah,
long range to call.
I agree.
It would depend on his kicker. So if he has a hand like Jack 10 that blocks straights, stuff like that, or even Jack 9, maybe he starts to call those hands. But I also don't think he value bets those hands.
Well,
So
maybe Landon's adjusting because Bill's fold button is broken today on the rivers. It seems.
I think Bill's just kind of in some unfortunate spots. Definitely the Queen's one that's like very very gross.
Well, before the like, oh my God, what is this? A jam? 4x pot?
Yeah. Oh, love this. That's great.
Regardless of his cards, you love it just because you're a
No, no, no. It's just because it's
good board.
in in the sim world, you don't often have a lot of. I mean, of course you do sometimes, but
No, just pretend I'm very stupid. Say it simple. Say it simple.
Okay, the higher equity distribution we have, like the better the board comes out, the better the board comes out for our overall range.
Okay.
The bigger we bet because we want to polarize our range, right?
Okay.
So 3x pot becomes like a not necessarily standard, but overbetting pot becomes very standard. This is why when we start to see cards that favor X players' range, say it comes deuce, 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 and like landed in 3-bet pre. Well, you're probably going to see a lot of overbets on these kind of boards because we have all the strongest pairs where Landon doesn't his best pairs in like pocket fives, right? So say if it comes like deuce, deuce, deuce 3, then obviously Bill's going to have the highest range advantage, right?
Right. So but that case that was a board that was so polar that you can go 3.5x pot or whatever it was, 3x.
The board just got better and better for Bill, becoming a 10 and a king. So now he has 10s, now he has kings, now he has like some king X suited, he has 7-8 suited. So
what are your
like
bluffs? What do you have one?
Yeah, I mean you're 7x, and you occasionally, oddly enough, you turn some of your worst pairs into bluffs when you get really really polar. But yeah, hands that start to not have good showdown value, or hands like deuces and threes, or hands like 8x in it that block straights. We see a 3-bet from Landon, king 6 board. We'll see a fairly high
the river
frequency
raise.
bet.
Oh, the block raise. That's the first river fold I've seen out of the Perkinator, I think, today. He bet river, led river, and Landon raised.
See 1/3 snap fold from Bill.
Did you see that on the right? It was the first. He block folded. Bill did.
Bill did. Okay. He's done that. He's done that actually quite a few times throughout previous matches. I mean, block betting's it's a thing. It's just not that common, to be honest. So I'm wondering if he's overutilizing blocks, or unless I'm just like completely getting it wrong. But obviously, if I don't know. It depends. Like I said, Bill is new to heads up poker, but has learned a lot. And I think as this match goes on and on, we're just going to see him improve and improve. But the same goes for Landon too, right? They're both going to just improve heaps. So the quality of play versus at hand 4,000 versus hand 19,000 is going to be drastically different.
I wasn't listening at all, but it sounds good.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I only did that to you once. You've done that to me a couple of times because of chat. Like, I think I'm making some important point. Not important, but... And then you're like, oh, can we ban Big Boy 69? Please.
Oh, boy. See a call from Landon. Gets the ace.
Yeah.
And another
call.
And the two pair is good for Landon. So momentum going in Mr. Landon's favor by quite a bit. The 78K can't be accurate anymore. I would assume that's going to be approaching close to 100 soon-ish.
The comeback, the old comeback. So this session pretty roller coastery. Landon was up right out the gate, maybe as high as 140K. Bill got it down to like 10, right, at the lowest. And now a couple setups and then a couple of gangsterness, and Landon's back up closer to 100 now.
Yeah, 89K. Wow. So it's been a wild ride. This has been probably one of the more. I missed the one session that Landon had a really, I think 160K session or something. I did miss. That was like the one I missed. I followed it pretty closely so far, but I did miss that one. I don't know how it went. So was the drawing already? Did the drawing already happen? Okay, so DMAC 767 apparently won.
You have 10 seconds to claim it.
Yeah, 3 seconds down. Okay, you missed. Sorry, redrawing. Ghost of M wins the drawing. Oh my god!
Wait, you really redrew it?
No, I don't have control over this shit.
Oh.
I don't have control over that. Like I even know how to do
Like you
this.
even know how literal I was gonna say.
Come on.
Like you even know
Come
how.
on, man.
The non-4 color cards like takes my brain an extra second to comprehend.
It is very. There's a lot. All I see is a flushes on the bottom left on the left hand side. But it could be worse. It could be WSOP where they just randomly have like green spades and shit like that for literally no reason at all. They're just like, you know what? Let's just fuck with everyone's head. Just make some weird colors.
Make it all blue light so it damages everyone's eyes long term.
Let's just low key make everyone blind. Except I'm already not blind enough, dude.
Some of these fire plays that Landon's been making, my boy Landon has been making everyone at home blind with the fire. No, it's really some straightforward. I don't know. We can't see whole cards when they're non-showdown hands, and I don't know how to do any of this stuff.
That's why speculation. You gotta speculate. You know, I know you're a heads expert. I'm just not. I'm waiting for your analysis.
Yeah, dude. I hope I haven't even been trying too much at all. Like I've been learning. I should pretend like I know for the viewers. Instead, I'm just being a viewer, picking your brain.
It's fine.
Well, tell me if it's.
You could always like drop like a dope ass rap or something at any point. That's what I find. You know what I find that how your mind works, how you can just drop like something super clever and funny. Like you had the sick. I clipped it one time. You just like randomly dropped this sickest rap, and it was like 3 minutes long. And I was like, how does this man's brain function like this? Like my brain is very simple. I'm like, okay, gotta play poker, gotta do this, whatever, gotta fucking, do this. Like very simple. I imagine your brain is probably they say like females like think like a lot of different thoughts at different at the same time, whereas men like think of like very like simple things. I imagine your brain thinks about like a bunch of things at the same time, and that's somehow you can be like, if you like want to like I already freestyle would just be the wackest thing, right? But somehow you can like you spit out like this like dope ass freestyle. I was like, did he like write that down? Because that's just like there's fire.
You're making me blush now, Rob, and thank you. I will say a couple of things. 1, I'm flattered. 2, I am hyper feminine. 3, I'm in awe of your brain as you go through all the combos that you just have like learned all this stuff. It's like not anyone can do it with effort, but not everyone will be able to absorb it to the extent you have, right? I would say if you took people and they did the same amount of work. Let's pay attention to the pot on the right, and then I'll get back to re-sucking your cock.
Wow. 1.5x pot by Mr. Gas Trader himself on that is a flush card, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see the action here, but we do see the fold.
Bill really seems to be either blasting rivers or betting very small, huh? Maybe
am I
that's not fair.
concerned about playing Berkey, and am I going to play a WSOP schedule? Definitely no concerns, and I will be playing WSOP schedule. So, yes.
Definitely not lost any sleep in it at all.
And in fact, I sleep, much better.
Knowing you're going to be loaded with all the money soon?
Yes.
You sleep better? Yes. No, thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
Like, my honest opinion, I'm like, I'm not going to
I appreciate
I'm just concerned.
Here's a call, bet and a call. Again, Bill does not fold rivers to Landon, and Landon gets that paper.
I have a feeling Bill is honestly just ran into the top of the range a lot today.
Yeah.
Have a feeling Bill just is in these like weird spots where he's just in this like must call territory, part of his section, and because he's making these calls with such ease that uh, it seems as if he knows exactly what hands he's going to call, and he's not randomizing these spots like he usually does. Um, I just have a feeling he's just kind of ran a little bit poorly in terms of like what part of his range he was in, and it seems like he's in the second, third tier rather than just pure give up part of his range. Often when Landon's making hands,
A lot of the bluff catchers, though, in the comeback rally after early on being down, though, were not to me, at least anyway, clear calls. Maybe to Bill and his strategy, though, to your point. Um, so that's more what I'm referencing. All the ones we've seen recently are like mandatory calls, I reckon. But
yeah, I mean on that last hand on the King six ace, like Bill probably just has 6x like always, and it's just like a pure call and.
see, look again, another bet and call, and Eloy is top pair. But
Okay.
I mean, again,
Yeah.
still, it's just like
And Landon could easily just be in his King X, like his strong King X section there, and simply going for a bet check bet line for value, right? And some of these chances play themselves. Oftentimes heads up poker is not like just like who can just fucking blast it off more and who can be more creative with check raises and stuff. Some hands just play themselves, and for example, that Queens versus Ace Nine, it's just plays that hand just plays itself. Um,
if you're building a strategy against someone like Bill before this, or would you let yourself feel free to like add in many exploits or no, or like what like
Not to start. I don't think you want to do that to start. I think you want to see where Bill's at, and this is what I'm guessing Landon's doing. Is he's analyzing his database probably every day, seeing where Bill is probably going to be weakest, and then you like this is how I pursue people when I play them heads up now. I build a database on where I see they make mistakes, and then I really capitalize on those mistakes that I perceive them to make. Um, and I think that's what I think Landon's coming in with, like a super fundamentally strong GTO based game, and then he's probably going to deviate as if he finds leaks in Bill's games. So perhaps let's say Bill is c-betting too much, well, then you're going to check raise more, right? If Bill's overfolding to the river too much, well, you're going to triple barrel a lot more, stuff like that. Or if Bill calls too many rivers, which we've seen a lot today, then you're not going to bluff as much on river. It's all pretty intuitive stuff.
are you gonna or do you have to do get exploity? You think exploitative? Oh, here's another oversized river bet on the right.
Yeah, two big
From
bets
Bill
here
and
and a call. And
Landon has
the
nuts. No,
no, I
ace
think that was
high.
ace high call.
The fucking four flush board, the four color.
Was that an ace
Yeah,
high call?
ace high, yeah,
Wha-
I reckon.
Wow. Wow,
Someone in
gangster.
chat or 50 people in chat will correct us if we're wrong.
I
But
believe that was an ace high call.
yeah, swag.
Wow, gangster call. Even had the clubs too. Wow.
Um,
What were you saying before that? Sorry. Something about like exploitative stuff.
oh, that can someone even get to 9 bigs per 100 without like doing that work to adjust later and just try to exploit someone like Bill? I mean,
Yeah.
you think it just like if it's like 80% GTO versus 20%, that guy's gonna get to 9? The weird way to frame it.
Landon has to put in work to get to 9. I'm sure because Landon wasn't a heads up player prior, right?
Well,
So
just say I'm just as in theory, say that I get 80% of spots perfect GTO wise, and you only get 20. Am I gonna win? How many blinds per 100 over 25K?
are you saying if me and you played what?
No. Just say anyone versus anyone. See, you can't even talk about you heads up without your ego. Like your ego.
No.
is a separate
You're saying
entity.
anyone versus anyone, but we have to know if you're saying anyone versus a recreational player.
Oh, because you want to know what the other percentage of the time how bad they're going to be off.
Yeah, it depends on like okay, so Bill,
That's fair.
6 months ago, Landon doesn't have to study to cover 9, right?
Okay,
But Bill's done so much work that he has to study to cover the 9.
got you. Yeah, I
Bill's,
guess I'm framing it
nine's
falsely.
Yeah, so it depends. I mean, if it's two regs, win rate's going to be very low. Like, for example, Doug versus Daniel. Daniel played very, very well. However, Doug played fucking awesome. And he beat him at 9 big blinds for 100. And Doug was actually impressed by that. And Doug played, Doug's just a goat. So, um, and even then, we almost saw a comeback in the Daniel match where he won, like, he got it all the way down to, like, halfway through the match. He won like 6 matches in a row or something crazy. It was like wild.
Do you think these guys side bets? Is there a side bet on this, or just like
I think
are they doing?
I think 100K each.
Oh, okay, but then they can do it on their own, bet on themselves and stuff, huh?
Yeah, if I had to guess, Bill probably has a lot of side bets going on. 2-4. I mean, he like casually dropped that. He was like, he had people coming in for like a 1,000, 2,000 game or something. I was just like, Christ, like, how's this guy even take 200 seriously? Bill, no, he seems like a great guy, but I don't know. He seems like a dude full of life that is absolutely crushing life.
Well, he seems attractive in that way. I wouldn't say he seems like a great guy. I don't know either way, but he seems.
He seems very wise.
An attractive personality, like for sure.
He seems like a guy that probably like brightens up the room of other people's. Like he seems like a guy that brings people up, right?
For sure.
And those people you want to surround yourself around. You don't want to surround yourself around negative Nancy's.
Yeah. Who else are you going to leech off if you don't hang around people who will pull you up?
Yeah. But I don't know him. I've never met him. But from the Thirst Lounge guys, everyone has nothing but nice things to say. He's been around the poker forever.
Awesome.
So
he seemed, dude. Who doesn't? I mean, I want to be Bill. I want to be Landon too. You know what I mean? I want to be me the most, but like, I mean,
arguably Perkins has way more inside bets than he would ever potentially lose in this challenge.
Look at this, almost 10x river.
Yeah, this is a theme that we've seen with Landon do a few times. He does this. I mean, you can call it 2x pot or 10x bet, whatever you want to call it. But he goes for these very large raises. Definitely a thing. How thin we go here? Probably something like 2 pair. Ooh. Wow. Oh, that's okay. That's a really good hand to call with, though, if you're Bill.
Yeah.
Blocking diamonds, blocking 8-5, blocking 2 pair. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice.
Wait, hand. But if you're blocking diamonds, wouldn't you want, even though he may not, wouldn't you rather want Landon to have diamonds? You're bluff catching, obviously, right?
You obviously want to have a diamond because he's Landon is obviously representing.
Wait, there were 3 diamonds out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking as if there were 2. My bad. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Thank you, Reverse. Appreciate that. I believe it's Fat Train behind the ACR account, but Longcar is a legend in his own right. But if it is Longcar, you're doing a fantastic job.
Whoever's doing it is great, man. I'm the dead.
They are the goats. They are the goats. Yeah, well, me and you, I barely know how to turn on my computer.
You're carrying us though, as far as commentary.
I talk a lot. That's all.
Bro, you're doing great. If it weren't for you.
Can overbet by Landon on the turn. Now this is fairly common, right? So Queen 9-3, we see a c-bet, 6 turn, very common spot to see an overbet. Hands that are going to want to overbet are your high equity hands, such as like 10-8 of spades, 4-5 of spades. Hands that unblock, like King Jack or King 10. Those hands are okay as well, as they block the strongest Queen X in Bill's range.
See, I'm still processing the way you just. For you, it's so fast and self-explanatory. For me, I understand it, but it takes me an extra like 10 seconds to like unpack each variable that you just threw at us. So I imagine people in the chat are similar, but maybe they're not trying to learn.
You know what I think's helped my poker game overall?
What?
Chess. Very bad at
about chess. I didn't know.
I'm really bad at chess. Let's talk about this hand on the left first. 3-bet, big bet, 3-bet / big bet. Pretty good card for Bill on the turn. He can have hands like King 9 diamonds, pocket 9s, pocket 8s. It does go for the check. Hands he might check here are 10s or queens, although this could easily bet again. Goes check 9. Interesting. Interesting here. I I'd be serious. Very curious if he's ever giving up here because I hand like Queen 10, Jack 10, Queen Jack. These hands just. No, I don't think he's giving up actually, because like the only hands that make sense to give up would be like Ace 3 suited, Ace 4 suited.
Oh my God, Jamie. And then on the right, Bill is over betting Papa. Let's stay on the left. Mentally.
Yeah, so Bill could easily have a hand like Bill could be thinking on Ace high call here, and I don't think this is unreasonable, by any means, because Bill Landon can easily. So we do see the tens and wow, nice call. It's gonna be his worst overpair call, but I was actually thinking more of in the realm of like some ace high type of calls.
Literally what you said.
So he just
when he checked the turn, you were like, yeah, he has tens. Well, you said he could have tens. You know, he could have.
So they're at the 3 hour mark. So is this what they're doing now? The 3 hour mark thing,
or the win a big hand and hit and run, and then act like your girlfriend and wife's calling you, and then like, oh, sorry, Lynn, I gotta go.
Oh, there's like a hot stone massage ready.
Yeah,
just
like a girl with sushi ready.
They could just be taking a break. That it might play longer. I mean, this is gonna put him down to what, like minus 40k. It's like, considering he's down minus 32k. There it is. So considering they played 500 hands, he was down 1 point at 140k. Made the 110k comeback. I mean, he has to be feeling at least somewhat good. And that's gonna be it, guys. I don't know if we're doing another giveaway. Question mark.
What would you rather? I forget. Like you guys could see me. I'm just like scratching my ear, being like Aunt Peg. So tens is the worst hand you're calling there, the worst pair. Like
so tens is going to be the worst hand because obviously you block the 10-7 suited, right, and you block the Jack 10. So hands like queens, easy call. Jacks a little bit easier of a call. Aces obviously generally betting the turn. And then you're going to have some hands that you trap, like King 9 suited, etc. on turn, occasionally in pocket 9s, pocket 8s. Landon's polarized 2x pot on the turn, or on the river, I think is pretty good. I think you want to go. I think you only have one sizing there. I think it's just all in. So I think that's a good bet by Landon.
Is his hand a mandatory?
Yeah, and once Bill checks and he doesn't snap fold, Bill's gonna have a lot of, like, I was thinking more in the realm of like he's gonna have 10 jacks queens, but he's also gonna have hands like ace 5 suited, because you have to think about what hands want to check a king turn, right? So let's say if we can get a replay of this hand, I can describe it a little bit better. Justin.
But
I'll describe like what hands would like to continue and what hands would like to give up in this particular scenario.
But on the turn, like any how about any 9x? Are you're checking turn? You're not.
So that's the thing. Like I think Landon probably is going to be doing a fair amount of checking with 9x, but I also think he's going to be betting 9x at a fair frequency. So once he doesn't bet 9x on the turn, he may be weighted towards a lot of bluffs on river if he's turning every single open-ended into a bluff, right? So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get this hand.
I was just looking
the 10-10 hand. Yes, Justin. Yep.
You look so sexy, dude. You look good. You've been losing weight. I zoned out. I wasn't listening to anything you said. Very tired from skateboarding.
Thanks.
My brain is over the top. You're floating over the
down
Las Vegas Strip.
I'm like 50. I'm 50 pounds down, man. I can basically fly since the beginning of the year. Yeah.
That's amazing. And how have you done it, Robert?
Keto, and a lot of exercise, a lot of push-ups, a lot of working out. So
you look younger.
Yeah, well, when you lose 50 pounds, you look a little bit younger. Anyway, so here we go. We see the standard 3-bet to 11 big blinds by Bill, and this is standard, right? So hands that Bill's going to be 3-betting here are, well, I'm just not going to name them all, but hands that like probably big bet on this board are going to be like hands like ace 3 suited, ace 4 suited, ace 5 suited, because they get a turn 3, 4, 5. Now, of course, we're going to have hands like 6, 7 suited, 10, 7 suited, Jack 10 suited, etc. With that said, when he snap checks the turn, which I think is probably a little bit of a timing tell, Bill, if you ever watch this, please stop doing this because you've done it many times. But I think his coach has been on him about that. He snap checks the turn here. So hands that would like snap check / give up are the exact same hands that I just set. So if you have a hand like ace 3 of spades, ace 4 of spades, ace 5 of spades, you're looking for a spade 3, 4, 5 ace turn to continue, right? So once he checks and it goes check check, and he doesn't snap check fold the river, it strikes me as some kind of ace high type of hand, because Bill Landon is going to be betting some portion of his 9x, right?
Don't ask me, I'm lost.
He can have some 9x of diamonds. He can also have some 2-pair. He can have a lot of hands here. But regardless, there's a lot of draws. There's the queen 10 off, the jack 10 off, 10-7 suited, 6-7 suited, the backdoor ace x. I don't think ace high turns their hand into a bluff. That's the one hand I don't think turns into a bluff. But he does turn this 10-7 suited into a bluff. And Bill has his worst bluff catcher, one having a diamond. But 2, he does block hands like 9-10, which is nice because that's gonna be a call and stuff. But he blocks, more importantly, he blocks queen 10, he blocks 10-7, and he blocks jack 10, which are going to be very frequent bluffs from Landon. So just an overall pretty tricky river spot there. Obviously like queens, we just like love calling, but 10s like hate. It's not so fun. And then even Landon can go as thin as like king x there, like really happily. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's tough. It's a very interesting last hand, and we only see Bill. I mean, after all of that carnage, minus 32K, they're playing a lot of. It's a really swingy, but at the end of it, it just seems like one person just doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah, that was wild. That was fun. I mean, Landon, if you had paid any attention to today, you knew that Bill was not folding river. Bill's fold button on rivers today was broken, for better or for worse.
Yeah, I think Bill
I know that's not an unfair summary, and now this GTO robot on the other side of the screen is going to tell you how he had mandatory calls and all this stuff.
He got cooler a couple times.
Over here. I'm just trying to do a meme, Robert. I'm not really saying that he didn't need to call all of them. I just am not capable of analyzing on your level, so I'm trying to do a little lighthearted. Dude, you're so sexy. Every time I look over, I see you on the screen.
I appreciate it, man. It's really hard to just float above Vegas like this. You know how hard it is?
Chris Angel.
I'm looking Chris Angel right now, bro. It's insane. I'll be out there. When are you going to Vegas, by the way? I'll be out there. I'm looking for an apartment here soon. I think I'm going to go out there for early July.
Wait, where? I thought you were on the strip right now. Where are you?
But right now I'm in the middle of the strip. I'm looking actually.
Where are you actually?
I'm homeless. I'm not going to say where I'm actually at, but
Yo, he's on the run.
Yo, I'm on the run right now.
You're allowed to VPN in commentary. You can say where you're actually at.
I'm in the States.
All right. No, Vegas. I'm gonna have a house in Jersey any week, like next week.
Yeah, you guys are closing.
There
That's
whatever.
dope. Yeah, right.
And in October, I'm finna be in Vegas in the house for October, November, man.
Of course, that's a long series.
I better get good at poker before then. I need some coaching.
Well, I said we can learn something this week. Actually, that'd be cool. We can do maybe a live stream coaching session or something.
We should just have the rest of the conversation we would have on. Well, there's no reason to end this right now, right? You want to just keep talking for a minute, or is ACR going to get mad?
I don't care.
What were you about to say? Like 5 more minutes. Let's just have
this the Ryan and Rob podcast now.
Well, it's at least the conversation we would have off air, on air, or whatever, because maybe people will find it interesting, or maybe some of them are doing other things to it. Very angrily hating on us. Whatever the case. I want to ask you more about the Berkey thing as well.
Go ahead.
When is it set to start? You don't have all the details ironed out yet?
No, so tomorrow he DM'd me like yesterday or the day before. I have a spreadsheet of some of the terms.
Okay, so wait, let me recap for anyone who doesn't know. Rob got all liquored up the other night and started blasting off with his
not
thumbs.
Drunk.
He swears he was sober. Berkey was on a bunch of feminism injections and thesaurus injections in the gym.
You know what it is? Maybe it's just his
virtue signaling in the mirror. Rob was just blasting off slots. They both get with their thumbs on Twitter, and next thing you know, there's a life-ending heads-up battle coming. right? There was already sexual tension between the two of them, but now it's going to be a heads up battle of all time poker beefs. Their Twitter threads are hilarious. Rob was up clearly looking at all mentions of his or Berkey's name till like 2 a.m. that day, maybe 4. Berkey was clearly tilted and wanted to go back to virtue signaling. It's a battle of the wills, battle of the people.
A couple things annoyed me, right? You know, he was doing a little bit of virtual signaling, and then he brought up he did a little bit of slandering on a tweet I posted, and that fired me up. And I said, you know what? I said, let's heads up for rolls.
Heads up for rolls, bro.
Buddy. Like this, you know, and what I find annoying, and I know a lot of you guys, a lot of people have been in the space for a long time. Heads up for rolls is not the most arrogant thing in the world. This is shit I've been doing my whole life. People do this all the time. Like the heads up for rolls thing is normal. It's two guys play poker, fucking battle it out, and see who wins. And a winner's going to come out. It's like you guys act like these guys have the smallest fucking egos because they want to play heads up for rolls. Bro, I want to play heads up for rolls because I want to make fucking money. Okay.
Well, and it's not because of a small ego; it's because of giant egos. How also, but listen, the heads up for rolls is unique to poker that we have a mechanism to test our shit talk, unlike other areas of the world. You know, two CEOs have a battle. What are they going to do? Like torch their company? You know, it's like this is not the exact game. It's the same as maybe NBA. You could say one-on-one is in the same game as like a full court, like a center versus a guard.
I'm just not
However, Robert is right. So it's a meme, but it's also a legitimate way to.
I'm just not a big Twitter guy. Like I'm not gonna go with the back and forth Twitter stuff. I'm just gonna say, okay, I challenge you. Let's settle in DMs, which we have been, right? So I challenge you. You can beef it all out you want. You can say all these like big ass words that I don't understand. I'll have to Google all you want. But at the end of the day, you know, we can hash this out in DMs, and our DMs have been very respectful. There's, you know, it hasn't been like a bloodbath in there. And we're just simply hashing out terms. We're gonna play big stakes, 80K buy-in, 16,000 hands I have here.
Supposedly, what stakes?
200, 400.
Bro, so double stacks that Bill and Landon have been sitting down with, right? Yeah. 200 big blinds deep.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That's like where Robert feels his most comfortable, I'd say.
That was proposed by Berkey, actually. So, you know, 200 big blind poker is an interesting game. You know, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I think you're gonna see some big pots. I don't know if we're gonna have a cap. I personally don't really want a cap. I want to see, you know, I want one of us to win or lose $1 million pot. You know, I want to see some.
What do you mean a cap?
Like
shit. How they're doing when you're up a certain.
They're doing the one. They're doing the 120, right? So the 120K. I don't want a cap. Just fuck it. Run it.
Well, because you're the worst player, so it's in your best interest to have a giant pot. Get lucky, right? On one table once.
That's not. Yeah. That's
come on, get sucked in, dude. I'm trying to
to
fucking troll you. Like, fall for it one time.
But I know you're like reverse trolling, so it's like, you
yeah,
know, it is what it is. You know, it'll be interesting. You know, we obviously have to agree. I personally want it all streamed, both live and online.
So you think, but this is because you think you can do better database analysis than him, or you're more willing to work at it, or it'll help you more?
I simply think I'm just better than him, and I'm willing.
So then, why would you want him to even have the chance? Wouldn't that be a disadvantage to you to have you both stream with all whole cards available, and then he can analyze your stuff?
Don't care.
Okay.
Don't think it's time to catch up.
You're so swagged out.
I mean,
beforehand, I asked you this because you said that that's the reason you wanted it streamed for like database analysis after, but it's now you're admitting maybe that it may be a disadvantage to you to do that, but you just too swagged out to care. Is that your answer, to be clear, for the press?
Don't think he'll catch up. Just my personal opinion. You want me to fucking sugarcoat it? I could. Be like,
No.
I mean, he'll play his little heart out. No, I think I'm gonna fucking destroy him. And if in 6 months when it's over and he beats me for 2 million and I look like a jackass, then I look like a jackass. But I look like a genius if I win. So, so be it.
It's reputation, degen. Yeah, it's like gambling at all. I love you.
You know, I like big stakes playing poker. It's not like I've never played 200, 400 in my life. I've played much bigger. So I mean, I haven't played this many hands. Holy fuck! I mean, 8,000 hands live. Good lord, it's gonna take forever.
Usually you play till you win and then you leave.
Yeah. Or usually I play till I'm unstuck and then I leave. That's usually how live poker works. But live poker is a brutal beast. But
Well,
it should be fun.
I hope, dude. I don't want you to die.
Die in what way?
Die, like lose all your money and die. You know what I mean? Berkey may just shame you out of the community.
I'm not going anywhere, buddy.
But he's not going to leave either if he loses the problem. You think it would? You think he could get
no.
I
think this is going to be.
Is your goal to shut down Solve for Why, that you kill him so bad that no one will listen to his coaching anymore?
No, at all. I don't think that'll happen at all for either of us. I think
in your deepest fantasy, though,
I think
Rob,
we'll both
your sick hatred, toxic heart.
No, because I think both companies can coexist and will coexist after the challenge, and I think both of us will both become much better players after the challenge, because we're going to have to study a lot. It's big stakes, and both of us are going to be putting in a lot of lab work with our teams. And I have my team, he's going to have whoever he's working with, and it's going to be a lot of work. And regardless of the outcome, we're both going to get infinitely better, right? And getting really good at heads up is a good skill. I mean, it's just a really good skill to have. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Well, respect. You call your team a team, and whoever he's going to be working with, it's already.
I don't know who he's going to be working with. I assume he has access to some brilliant minds.
I assume he has access to, yeah.
I assume he has some access to some brilliant minds, but I know who I'm working with, and adding on more so. But yeah, we've already started, and it's going to be.
Well, you sort of added me as a one-time consultant for PR, but maybe you should let me help you as part of your team as PR consultant. Believe it or not.
If you are the PR guy, then that's like Jesus Christ.
Yo, tell me I didn't give you tips. We won't at all get into what it is, but tell me I didn't give you the fire strats for PR the other day.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sure. I guess.
I've got something. I got no analysis right the entire stream, but I got that out of Rob.
Berg's going to put me in retirement. Maybe. Even if I get broke, I always have in mind to build it back up. So that's the best thing about poker.
It's the degen mentality too.
If you're you work hard at a game, you can always get it back. Brendan Kenny's been broke a fucking million times, but he's also got it back a million times. So, and he's paid as fuck. So, he's a gangster. He's a gangster, and I'm just going with that mentality. Let's put it online and good luck.
I hope I don't ever go broke.
I've been broke plenty of times. It doesn't.
It seems so unnecessary.
Not afraid to admit
pointless.
It. Well, it happens. You play above your head sometimes, and you move on and you win it back, and it is what it is, right? As long as you have your mind in poker, that's all you need to make money. As long as you work hard and have your mind, you'll always make money in the game. Maybe not in the short term, but in the long term, you always make money. So just work hard, and you'll get there. So if I get felted by Berkey, then so be it. But I'll get back to where I am. So I'll be all right. Don't worry.
Your statement just rationalized so many people who are gonna disregard the work hard part of that sentence and just say, in the long run, if you keep playing, you'll get there. After you go broke, how many sickos are gonna remember this Rob Kuhn advice and just be like, you know what, I'll get there, and then they think hard work is like doing one hand quiz on Jonathan Little's site or something. Anyway, wait, to be clear, I don't dislike Berkey. I love you way more. I don't really know Berkey, but I'm not hating on the guy. He just did, as a matter of fact, take shots of feminism and virtue things in the mirror while Rob was blasting off drunk. So just to clear that up out there. So
yeah.
Last thoughts on Landon and Perk maybe before we sign off, because both of us have horrible swamp ass and must shower.
I thought you're really projecting on the swamp ass thing. I think that's just
your ass is not sweaty, dude. You were about to shower. I just got home from skateboarding, and they were like, "Yo, they're starting." My butt is soaked.
No, I mean I have AC and stuff. I don't know. In New York, I know it's expensive.
The city, I'm so done.
Last thoughts on Berkey, and Perkins versus Landon. I think Bill. Of course, I think Landon's came in with a very solid strategy every day, and I think that's going to continue. We haven't seen too many deviations from Landon, I don't think, thus far. If I was him, I would probably be trying to figure out where and I guarantee he is where Perkins is making the most mistakes. Um, and to be honest, based on some of the call downs, it doesn't seem like Bill is overfolding Rivers by any means. So perhaps I would consider underbluffing Rivers, but I would have to see the database analysis that they're actually going through and do the player report and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's so hard to tell. 4,000 hands really isn't that much. I mean, it is sort of. It's somewhat telling if he's not c-betting enough, then, or if his c-bet strategy is whack, then you know you can start check raising more or start going thinner on Rivers and stuff like that. But it's not like the easiest. It's not the easiest thing in the world to determine. I think once you start to get to like hand 10,000 or whatever, they'll start to figure it out more. But I really do think Bill's just going to like Bill's. Okay, so we have two learning curves, right? So we have Landon, whose learning curve is like, you know, is like he's like way up here, right? He's already learned a lot. Bill admittedly started off like just way down here, but Bill, you know, it's very hard to get from like really, really, really good to like fucking Linus Love, right?
Yeah.
But for Bill, it's going to be not so hard for him to get from like good to like perhaps great to perhaps like, you know, equal. So that's why I think that we may see a little comeback from Perkins, and he's keeping it very close right now. I don't even know if he's covering spot. Actually, in fact, he's not covering spot by just a slight margin. I think 4,000 hands, maybe 72,000, 144,000 plus 70. Yeah. So he's not even covering spot right now. I think that would mean that Landon's up something like 8.8 big blinds if I'm just doing quick math. I don't know. But Landon's coming close. But Landon may also pick off Bill's tendencies. But
Right. That's the way you just frame that is just to maybe make it simpler or summarize or tell me if I'm wrong. Is that the gap in ease in making up the talent gap, or not talent gap, skill gap, will be in a race against if Landon can exploit tendencies that he finds, right? It's like who can do that more. So Landon's GTO framework also, we were talking about before, he has diminishing returns, like you're saying. He's already here. The gap between for Landon to get 5% better, he has to put in 10 times the hours than
Right.
for Bill to get 5% better.
Right. But you also have to remember, this is team versus team. This isn't really Landon versus Bill. This is hybrid poker, and their team versus Landon, and
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure who he's working with, but I'm gonna assume like Nick Schulman and Lucky Chewy and
your boy.
And I don't know if he's working with those guys or not. But he's, you know, it's team versus team, and I don't think either team's gonna let either team allow any exploits, right? So I think we're gonna just see some pretty fucking badass poker by the end of it, and we've already, you know, we've seen mistakes. Of course, everyone's gonna make mistakes. Poker's really hard. You know, if we're not seeing a mistake like every other hand, then we're just not human, right? So it's just like, it's hard, you know. Even the best make mistakes constantly. If you don't think you're shit at poker, then you just don't understand how poker works. Yeah, if you think you're like really, really good, you're just not. That's just how it goes. I mean, that's just words of wisdom. I think I'm terrible all the time. You know, make one mistake and was like, oh, Jesus Christ, am I even good? Like, fucking hell, why'd I do that?
Yeah, I don't think people would get that vibe out of you. That I think you seem like the goat of arrogance, but Rob is very humble.
No, I come off.
Rob has humility. Rob has humility, which is right sizedness. It's Stunning Kruger every day, bro.
Yeah, I just make mistakes constantly, and you know, especially in MTTs, they're extremely hard. They're extremely dynamic, and every board's different, and every size, everything's different, and player tendencies, and then you have to factor in GTO plus exploitative. It's all fucking hard, and poker's tough, basically, and everyone sucks. So, including myself.
We'll leave it at that. That's a great summary.
So anyway, work hard, get better. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna get off here. However, I figure out how to click the off button. Maybe I'll just turn off my computer. It'll be easier. So I'm not like awkwardly saying. Yeah. Get on fucking out of here. See ya. All right, later, guys.